Guys, what is up? Welcome back. Just an FYI, broken ribs suck. Don't get them. That's why the episode is a week late. Um, yeah, but other than that, dude, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone who listens to this is having a good time. Um, I'm very excited for today's guest. I have nothing to plug other than stay tuned for stuff with my record label, and I may have shows coming up. I do have a show coming up February 1st with a lot of funny people. Um, Check out my website or my social media for all the details on that. It's in Medford, New Jersey. Come out, let's rage. But I am stoked on today's guest. He was one of the first people to have me on his podcast many years ago, which he just brought back. Um, and I've known him for a very long time. Awesome guy, very funny comic. If you don't know him, I'm excited for you to get to know him. So, guys, without further ado, let's get into it.
Get into it, press play, don't quit. Feel the vibe, talk and listen live. Get into it, hit subscribe, don't sit. Join the crew, every week something new. Nostalgia.
All right, and here we are with one of my favorite comics from the Philadelphia scene. He's a Philadelphia-based comedian, as per the Philadelphia scene comment. Give it up for Dan Clark, everybody.
Thanks for having me,
Woo.
buddy.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for coming on. Stoked I get to talk to you.
Yeah,
Um,
man, it's been a while.
yeah. My first question to you is, do you still think your voice sucks?
Absolutely. Yeah. What a deep
See,
cut for a podcast that doesn't even exist on Spotify anymore. That's
I gotta be. That was like I think that was the first time like you invited me on that podcast, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like I hate my
yeah,
fucking voice.
yeah.
I don't think you have a bad voice, man. I don't think you have a bad voice.
No,
What did
I don't know that I do. I just think everyone hates the sound of their own voice, and you sound totally different. Once you like actually hear how you sound, you for the first time, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with my ears that I don't
oh,
realize that's what I sound like. So that was the premise of
100%.
that is, but yeah. It was
Yeah.
also just a fun way to get like really dress people down before the
Yeah.
podcast. That was the first question I would ask was, well, how can you stand the sound of your own voice? People were like, oh, okay, this is a mean one. Cool.
I was what happened to that podcast? Just stop doing it or
Yeah, me and Scott did it for a while. Scott Armstrong, shout out Scott Armstrong. And then we did it like during the pandemic. We like really doubled down on it during the pandemic. We like tried a Patreon and it never just like quite picked off like we wanted to, and it felt like it was becoming more work. And then it was fun, and then funnily enough, it's so fucking easy to take a podcast down from Spotify. Like you can just
sure.
email them. I didn't realize how easy it was. Like, I thought I was gonna have to go through like triple verification, and they were just like, "No, you can." I think because we were both like looking for new jobs, and we said some pretty I don't know if it was foul, but well, foul. We said some foul things on that podcast, but it was just when we didn't have a guest. Well, even when we did have a guest, we said some pretty foul things.
Yeah, I
So
mean
we're like,
we
let's take this down. One episode still exists.
oh
On
really?
it was a crossover episode with Jeff Coella and Rusty Wright for their podcast
Oh no
because
shit.
they put it out on their. I think we both put it out individually on, but they had no reason to take it down.
Oh,
So
that's
one
so
episode
funny.
still exists. I think those were like always the funniest ones. We did a few crossover ones with them, and it was always pretty
I dig that. That's so
good.
funny. Um, do you still have the shark tattoo?
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Kidding me?
Hell yeah. What
Yeah.
is the story behind it? I know you've joked about it in the past about
Oh sure.
you know I forget the joke exactly, but you go and like, no, Dad, he likes sharks. Fucking
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, it's an ex girlfriend because that actually happened. I dated a girl, like I guess well, it was on and off for a while, but like I guess this was like 3 years ago where I met her dad for the first time. And then the way I build it up, it's like it's always more embarrassing to tell someone. It's always more embarrassing when someone else describes your bad tattoos to another person. And then so this girl's dad was like, "Damn, what's it a tattoo of?" And before I could say anything, she goes, "It's a shark. He likes sharks." I'm like, "Great, that's very embarrassing." Yeah, but no, this is a cover up tattoo because
Oh, no shit.
I got married and divorced, but like right before me and my ex wife hated each other, we decided to get matching tattoos.
Sure.
Um, you know,
Classic.
that'll save a marriage, right? In hindsight, I remember being like, "This is a bad idea." I remember thinking that. She was like, "No, we should do it." I was like, "I don't. I think this is things aren't
Oh
going
my
right
God.
now. I can kind of tell."
What was the like original tattoo, if you don't
I,
mind me asking?
it said I mean, it still says if you like, you won't be able to see it through Zoom, but if you
Sure.
like stare deep enough into my arm like a real pervert, you can like still make it out. But it said two life on it, which is again very ironic because like 5 months later we split up. Yeah,
Oh my God, that
yeah,
is
right. I
funny.
don't make good decisions. Then I started stand up comedy, I guess later that year.
Okay, so around what time was that? Like what year did you start comedy?
That would have been 2016.
2016. No shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I
because
think that's about the time I started as well.
yeah, because yeah,
Okay.
it was the year Trump won.
Ah, makes
I
sense.
remember
Okay.
everyone like I started. I think I had done like one open mic in like that September, and then kind of didn't do it. Like I kept going down to Helium trying to get on that open mic when that was an every
Sure.
Tuesday thing. And I just like I didn't get on for the longest time, but I just kept going down. But I also didn't know that there was like other open mics because I didn't know about like I didn't know about like the Philly Comedy Network. I didn't know about any of like I didn't realize that just bars had open mics.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was kind of in the same boat. I never knew uh how to navigate that. I think my first mic was what is it? Is it it's that place on South Street. I don't know if they still do the mic there, but it used to be
Wasn't
ran by
Patty
like
Wax, was it?
yeah, Patty Wax. That was my
Oh, when I ran that, was that your first open mic?
I think I thought it was like Matt Hyams and
That would have been me and Matt.
you and Matt. Okay.
Yeah,
Or
we had Maddie McLennan, so like
Maddie.
there was a shot I wasn't there that night because we kind of all hated we did it and then immediately regretted doing it because running an open mic I swear to God I do like comedy sometimes, but running an open mic is literal hell. It's like kind of the worst thing.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how anyone runs an open mic and it's like, yeah, I'm okay with this. Like I
Yeah,
think I did it.
I know some people like the bar pays them. I've never been lucky enough to run an open mic where the bar's like, yeah, we'll throw you like $50.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you gotta finesse them there. I ran an open mic for I think a month and then COVID hit and I was like, thank God I have an
Thank fucking
excuse to
God. Yeah,
fucking,
yeah, yeah.
like I don't want to do this bullshit. Um I get it, man. I didn't know that. I didn't know you ran Patio X. That's pretty interesting. And since
Yeah.
then, I mean, you've ran a few rooms, a few open mics, a few rooms, I think. The last one was the 700, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, me and Casey Kuftick started. Well, that there were people that did it right before the pandemic, and then like it lasted for. They didn't do a show there, to my knowledge. Didn't do a show there, but they did a mic there. It lasted for about for I want to say like 3 months before the pandemic shut down, and then they just didn't want to take it back up. So we did the mic and then did a show that had varying degrees of success there. Um, Sometimes it was great. Most of the time it was just awful. And
Sure,
then
yeah.
before that, we just ran a show at where did we run a show at? Oh, Philly Brewing Company, which again was kind of the same. It had varying
Okay.
degrees of success there.
Well, I feel like because I went to a few shows at the 700. I went to a bunch of the mics and then I went to a few of the shows and every show I went to at least it seemed like it was pretty bumping. I mean, you guys got um people with some clout with like
Oh yeah,
people
we
who've been on Comedy Central or who are touring or wrote for Conan or something like that.
yeah,
Um so I don't know, it was kind of cool seeing that, and then an open mic is a fucking open mic, so who the
yeah.
hell wants
The
to
only
be there?
benefit, like if you're new, I don't know like what the audience for this is necessarily, but if it's like new people, running an open mic is like a miserable existence for like a year of your life. But it does kind of get you good because it forces you to like keep writing. Like I like when I was running likes, I was writing every single day because I knew it's like the same people coming back, and I'm not trying to like do the same exact joke for 5 weeks in a row to the same people as I know.
100%.
So
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, I don't know. That's the I feel like that's for a lot of people, and maybe I'm projecting, but that is kind of one of the hardest parts is consistent writing, right? Like
oh yeah, it's
writing
tough
every
for
day.
me. It's I barely. I mean, like I have dumb ideas that I put in my phone and they get lost forever. 'Cause-
Sure, yeah.
but
I,
yeah,
yeah, for me, the phone I know is a graveyard for half-baked ideas, and then
yeah,
you know, I totally get it. I wanted to ask, how is your dog Savannah doing?
she's good. I don't know if you heard her tip tapping around. She was in my room. Now she's laying down. She's good. She's old as hell. She's 11 years old, cranky as ever. Never
I
gonna change
love it.
that. But yeah, no, she's good. She's
She's a
a
very sweet dog. I love. What kind of dog is she?
she's a lab hound mix.
Okay,
Maybe
nice.
something else. That's she's also a product of my divorce. Me and my ex really wanted a puppy, and my dog Savannah had the puppies because I got Savannah was 3 when I got her,
Okay.
around 3, and I did not want a puppy. I was like, training this thing will be a giant pain in the ass. My ex was like, "Well, I'll trade it." That turned out not to be true. I was the one waking up at 4 in the morning, taking it out, cleaning up the pee, all that good stuff. But when we went to the foster house where the puppies and Savannah were, Savannah just like jumped up on me. I was like, "We're taking this one too."
That's
So
that's
when we
that's
split
beautiful.
up, it was very there was none of this like new age bullshit of like we're gonna split custody of the dog. It's a dog. What it will get over one of you not being in its
It
life
will get
or the rest of its life. Uh, but there was none of that. It was just very clear whose dog was whom's, whatever. But
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good, man. No, your dog is very sweet when I met her. Um, so the whole podcast obviously is about the stuff that got you into comedy. And you picked three specials, kind of three.
yeah,
Pinky Pain by Mark Maron,
yeah.
Mostly Stories by Tom Segura, and any Comedy Central Presents episode that played from 2001 to 2008. And you
Yeah.
said they all taught me something different about comedy, uh, which I like. I like that you brought up Comedy Central Presents because you got into it in 2016 and you're what, 31, 32?
33 now. Yes,
You're
I started doing it when I was like, well, I mean, I did like a talent show thing in college in like what was that? That would have been like 2011, where I did like a dog shit 5 minutes. If I remember, it actually wasn't awful. Uh,
Sure.
but also like there weren't other comedians there, so it was just like a
Sure.
weird form show that my friend who was an RA was putting on. I was like, I want to try stand up. There was no microphone. I just talked loudly. There was it was just
That's
in like
amazing.
the common area of the dorm he was an RA in. So I think
uh,
I couldn't tell you a single joke I did, but I don't think it was awful, but I don't think it was nothing I would stand on now anyway.
well, I think I don't know, I think a lot of people especially a lot of people we know I don't know, I feel like they were greatly inspired by that run of Comedy Central Presents.
But yeah,
Because you had half hours from powerhouses from Kevin Hart to fucking Louis C.K. to whoever. Like,
yeah.
um, what did you remember? Like one that like really stood out to you?
Adam Ferrara, which is a little ironic because now I kind of hate Italian people, but no, I don't know why. I don't like I couldn't I think cuz I'm sure I saw others before. That couldn't have been my first one. And also I just thought of this. I don't know like some of these that I saw might have been reruns from like the late 90s too, but like when I
Sure.
started watching them was cuz I didn't realize you could like from like most of that time period, I didn't realize you could like go hang out with your friends on Friday nights, especially when I was in middle school. So like 2000, really like 2002, 2004, I was just like, oh, I'll just sit in my basement and laugh my fucking ass off all night. Sober, it
Sure,
was
yeah.
wild, wild. I didn't need to be, I didn't need booze or just the power of laughter kept me going. But Yeah, Adam Ferrara's really stuck out to me. Gilbert Gottfried's was like this weird mess of one where his like closer was like this for a half hour. It was like 6 minutes, and he had like people dressed up as fairies. he did like a weird, he did like a weird fairy tale thing, but in the Gilbert Gottfried voice.
Oh, I remember that one. That one
Yeah,
was good. Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was really fucking weird.
Yeah, and then like there was like Dane Cook before he again. I think Dane
Hmm.
Cook might have recorded his in the late '90s. Now that I'm thinking about it, but when I got around to it, it was like I think they played it, and then I think that's actually why I thought he was like a true overnight success, and not didn't realize that he'd been doing
Sure.
comedy for like 20 years already.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah.
like I saw his special, and then he just immediately started doing stadiums. We're like, oh wait, no, and that wasn't like a live recording.
Right. Yeah. That
Yeah.
that Dane Cook specifically, I remember because he did that alien bit where he like he's in the he's in like
He's
the
in
black wife beater and he like
yeah, yeah.
pours the water all over himself and
He like grabs the camera guy. He like grabs the
yeah.
camera that's at the front of the stage. Yeah.
He had like just that weird kind of rock star energy up there,
Mhm.
which you didn't, everyone's in like a suit and nice clothes, and shit. And yeah, I mean, say what you will about the guy now, but he was fucking funny back in the day. I
Yeah.
guess he's still
I,
funny now. I mean,
yeah, I haven't tried to watch him in a while. I think like for me, like at least I mean to be being nice, trying to be nicer. Like right now, what he did back I if it just came out now, it probably wouldn't be for me. But
sure.
like back then, that's what I like it was so weird and unique. So
Oh
everyone
yeah.
loved it. I'd heard a story about that though. Like the reason he did that is Comedy Cent, and I could be wrong about this. I thought I heard him on a podcast talk about how Comedy Central kind of fucked him over a little bit on that special.
Oh,
They wanted him to do like a totally different set or something, so he was like, "No, fuck you guys." So that's why he like, I don't think he planned on doing like they were all. It's not like he improv the special, but
sure. Yeah.
he wasn't planning on doing those jokes. And he was just like, "All right, no, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm gonna go out in a tank top and like a lunatic." I think that was him. I could be wrong about that, but
It sounds right. I'm gonna take it as gospel.
yeah, cool. Yeah, it is fact.
Yeah,
It is Bible
it's
now. Yeah,
this is fact.
yeah,
Um, but I like that you picked also that you picked Mark Maron and Tom Segura because you picked two people who and kind of opposite ends of the spectrum with this with their
oh yeah,
storytelling. Um,
yeah,
you know, Mark Maron is more of like I don't know. He's very long-winded, but he's engaging.
oh yeah,
With
yeah,
these bursts of laughter, kind of like throughout. Where Tom Segura, his storytelling has punch after punch after punch.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like how has that those two looking at them, how has that kind of helped you in either writing or your performance of your comedy?
Well, I guess I mean with those two kind of being my guys that like really got me into it. And I didn't really get into the I don't even know that I saw Mark Maron's Comedy Central Presents, but like I started listening to the podcast in college, WTF podcast in college, and then whenever Thinky Pain came out, I was just like into it. But I guess it was like the dichotomy of like, all right, you can do longer winded stuff. Not that I'm a particularly longer winded writer. I tend to think I'm a little more punchy than that. But then also like if you're gonna do long winded stuff, you kind of should be punchy. I think so. That
Sure,
yeah, yeah. I was
fair
also
enough.
like when I started, I was like trying to. I mean, everyone's like trying to be a version of whoever like really got
Yeah.
them going. So like I was definitely like doing Tom Segura. There was one time I wrote a joke. I forget what the joke is. I wrote it out, and then later that night I was like rewatching mostly stories or White Girls with Cornrows, one of the specials from Segura, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I knew that joke was too good on the first try because I literally just written a joke that I just heard 1,000 times.
Do you find that to happen more often than not? I feel like sometimes there's a lot of I don't know. I guess at least in my experience, right? I can't talk for everybody, but I find I find myself going like, oh, that's like a funny premise. Oh, what if I said this? And then I'll be like, oh fuck, that's like a George Carlin bit. Like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, like,
Yeah. Not so much anymore, but I have a few premises that I haven't written out because I'm like, I might have heard that from somewhere and I can't track it. If I can't track it, then I won't. If I can't like definitively say I've never heard that from someone or I've never even heard the idea, I'll usually shelf it for a while until I can like something jogs my memory about it. So I
okay.
have one now. Like I'll say, I don't think I heard this from anyone, and I haven't really written it out, but I have this idea that I think the part that no one's talking about the show Love on the Spectrum is how, and please tell me if you've heard this, is that you don't they don't talk about how the siblings of the autistic people on that show are using as seen on Netflix in their Tinder profiles.
I haven't heard that.
Okay, because it can every time something comes to me like too easily like that, I'm like,
Sure.
I had to have heard that. I'm not that good at this. Like,
I don't know. I think over time you start to surprise yourself. And I gotta be honest, like every clip I see of you, I'm like, oh, that's a fucking good joke. I like that
oh
joke,
well,
you know?
thank you. I have like three
Uh
jokes in my 20 minutes that I'm proud of right now. The rest of them, like, this stinks. Fuck me.
I get it, man.
Yeah,
That's me with my whole set. I'm just like, I should stop.
sure.
Um what I guess with all of the specials you picked, how has that influenced your stage presence? Because a little you're a little more reserved in your stage presence, which isn't a bad thing by any means.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's definitely I definitely see that, that Mark Maron side where you're like, well, this is how I am, this is what it is, and
yeah,
and then there's other jokes, and whether it's the punchline, there's definitely that more energetic piece to you where either movement's involved or your energy just gets real up. Like how did you decide on all that? And how well I'll just yeah, how did you decide on all
yeah.
that
I don't
with
know that it's a conscious decision. I think that's just how I am. I think I'm naturally a pretty, I don't want to say stoic because now online dorks are being like stoicism cool, pissing me off. But I like in like the literal sense of the word of not being like a thoughtful guy because I'm really one of the dumbest people I know, and I'll say that till the day is done. I really don't care, and I don't think it's necessarily an insult to myself. I'm just a fucking blockhead, but I don't know. That's just how I am. So like you're and I like to try to be. I think that is what a lot of Mark Maron, what I take from Maron is like the kind of conversational aspect. And obviously he's not the only comic to be, you know, conversational. I like my favorite sets are the ones where I see people like they're talking, they're delivering their jokes as if they were just talking to a group of friends. Obviously with
sure,
like some cadence switches because like you do kind of have to make an inflection in your voice sometimes to let people know it's a punchline.
sure.
But I was actually I've been complaining about this a little bit lately because I've been going back to open mic and like they're open mic, so I can't really again. I'm trying to be nice and not talk shit so much because it fucked me in the past. But
Sure.
I see like now a lot of people aren't really being conversational in their stage presence, and that's always I don't even want to. It bothers me, I guess, but I just think it. For me, I always think it's more important if it seems like you're having a conversation with the audience, but the audience isn't talking.
So
I think that just makes everyone a little more comfortable.
sure, I would agree. I mean, do you think the comics you see, or whoever, like, do you think it's more just like jokey, or like, well, right, like, yeah, we're telling jokes,
For
but
me,
like,
it's yeah. For me, it's less about the what they're saying and more about the cadence of it.
okay,
Like it feels like a lot of times there's a build up where it's like ba 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 ba, like kind of beats like that, if that makes sense.
interesting.
Where they go
Sure, okay,
set up, punchline, punchline, punchline. You know,
I see what you're saying.
and
Okay,
in my head, that's like that's not how you would talk to people. normally.
Right,
And
100%.
unless you're doing a very specific thing, I mean, there are people that do one-liners, and for one-liners, how the fuck you write like an hour of one line? Like Mitch Hedberg, like amazing to me. There's some Philly comics who do one-liners like that. Who I'm like, how do you write 5 minutes of those? Like
Oh,
that's insane to me. Like that's you have,
oh yeah.
and especially when it's good, it's like, God damn, dude, that's wild. But so like the people that do that kind of, that's an exception for me because like that's a totally different
Sure.
cadence or a totally different thing. So that doesn't bother me. But it's when I know people that do like that try to do like a 2 minute chunk on something and then like but they're not delivering it like they would just tell it to me, you know.
Got so it doesn't come off conversational. It comes off like someone's talking at you
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
a way. Sure,
And I mean,
I get
I've
that.
also seen that work. It's all personal preference. I'm really not trying to
Yeah,
like talk shit. I just like I've
no,
noticed it a little
100%.
bit more recently, and I don't know where that's come from.
Well, I definitely, I think there's like, and I maybe I'm wrong, right? I mean, who the hell am I? But I definitely find there to be a Philly style, if that makes sense. Like
It's
I know
probably
10 people who deliver jokes like a similar way.
yeah,
And it's not that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination,
yeah, yeah.
but it just seems like I think with we see the rise of Shane Gillis. Like
I
I
was
think
just gonna
people are
say
trying
there's a
to
ton of people doing Gillis. Yeah,
yeah. And I think I really think that's I don't, the Philly style. I'm not saying it's necessarily Philly comics or anything like that, but
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
there's definitely a way they tell jokes and how they talk. And it's like, I talked to you 5 minutes ago outside. That's not how you
That's not how
fucking
you sound. Yeah,
yeah, but hey, what do I know?
yeah,
I get it. I do like the conversational piece. I think you're right. I think that is important. And I got to be honest, like at the clips that you post, you do have that conversational piece. So and it's refreshing to see. I don't think a lot of people do it. Now, or any Mark Maron, Tom Segura, who do you like better, or is it just they're on an equal level?
they do
Uh,
pretty different things.
mm-hmm.
Probably at this point, I like Tom Segura more. I like it a little. I like him a little bit. Like I thought his last special was very good. Sledgehammer. I think Segura has put out more stuff I've liked. I don't even know if I can say that. I think I do like Segura more. I think it's just I think for me his specials are a little easier to like rewatch and go back to because Mark Maron's last special, fuck the HBO one, so fucking dark. He talks about his like girlfriend who he found like the love of his life to be dying, which he made it
Yeah,
very funny. And the whole special is very good, but it's like I can only watch that like once every
sure.
6 months.
It's like watching Requiem for a Dream. I get it.
Yeah, I saw like a clip of it on Instagram. I was like, I should rewatch that. Then I took a beat to myself, and I was like, I'm not in the headspace for that today, man. It's raining out.
um,
I got to go outside and take a walk right after this. Like,
uh, yeah. I mean, I definitely think, you know, Tom Segura has almost like a carefree spirit in his stand up,
oh
where
yeah, yeah,
uh once again, like night and day, two different ends of the fucking spectrum here with
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Marin and Segura. But yeah, Marin will make you fucking think to the point
yeah.
where like maybe shit isn't funny, but it's kind of interesting,
Oh,
like
for sure. Yeah,
and Tom Segura don't give a fuck about any of that. He just wants to tell you about his dick and balls and
yeah, which is great.
vaginas and
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I think it's very interesting. I think you embody both of them. I'm kind of glad you brought both up. I really do because some of the things that I've seen you do, I'm like, huh, okay, like or like the meaning behind like your tattoo joke, perfect example. Where like, huh, I never really thought about like someone having to explain my dumb tat. I have a lot of dumb tattoos.
yeah, yeah.
Like and then or like the was it DB Cooper bit?
Oh,
Right.
that the thing where I get OJ Simpson. I'm ruining. I don't know, whatever. But I get OJ Simpson doing Being DB Cooper. That's like the
Yeah.
funniest thing in the world to me. Yeah.
I just, I think,
I still wish he did that on his deathbed, but that's whatever.
I think you embody both of those worlds, and no, I definitely think both of those are yeah, pretty much the embodiment of you. What was your favorite bit from Marin's Thinky Pain?
Oh, very. It's pretty. It's in the beginning where he talks about being on the road. That because I think he filmed it. He filmed it at like this really small club in New York. I think it was like 70 people, which I thought immediately thought was cool. But then he talks about the last time he was there, he was opening for Bill Hicks, and then he's like, I left to go to the bathroom. I came back and Bill Hicks is just yelling at a woman in the front row.
I'm a fucking poet.
I'm a fucking poet. And then the lady goes, "Well, tell us a poem then." And then, yeah.
Oh my god,
I pulled it up on spot. I'm trying to like rethink of what like on mostly stories like every race, if I remember what that is correctly, it's like every race is racist, and he talks about how like Japanese people,
yeah.
it's like the little, it's like, what do you hate about that guy? He like touches it, like whoa, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, no, definitely a great two great fucking specials, and then I mean just Comedy Central presents fantastic picks. Dan, do you have anything to plug? Anything coming up?
One day I'll have a podcast out called Idiot Bridge if I can ever stomach to record it. I'm saying this out loud more publicly to force myself to do it because I did a show in Virginia a couple of weeks ago, and a guy came up to me afterward. I had the host say it to bring me up. And a guy came up to me afterwards. I was like, "Where can I find the podcast?" I was like, "All right, well now I have to fucking do it."
Yeah.
So one day that'll be out. Hopefully in the next like 2 or 3 weeks. Just be me bullshitting to myself.
Everyone, please go check him out. Follow him on Instagram, Tall Dinklage. Great fucking name. And if you want to book him, reach out to clark.dan4@gmail.com.
I look
Dan.
forward to your death threats. Yes, thank you.
Hell yeah. Dan, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
dude, thanks for having me. It's sick.
Get into it, press play, don't quit. Feel the vibe, talk and listen live. Get into it, hit subscribe, don't sit. Join the crew, every week something new. Nostalgia.
And guys, welcome back. I love Dan. Dan is one of the comedians I've known just for such a long time. Every time I see a set, he kills me. He's one of the funniest guys I know. And yeah, that's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. And yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully I don't break any more ribs. And we'll have a new episode in 2 weeks. Isn't that exciting? I know. Everyone calm down. It'll be okay. Thanks for checking the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. You know, that's what people tell you to do. You know, hit that MF and like button or whatever. I don't know. Either way, guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you later.